Apply. Hey again. The other video. I've seen that just shut off because I um I have gone to watch for the to reach for the notification that I seen, and it's like um a dude of 65 and his daughter of 25 have been killed around a conflict linked to some land. So I guess that they were Illuminati, both of them, because lands are a tool of power, and land owners are Illuminati most of the time. I suspect. I guess this is what I would do. I wouldn't leave any land to the commoner. I would give it to only people that are from bloodlines, and we are a lot of people from the bloodlines, and so yeah, we are perhaps like a tenth, at least, of humanity. It's just like being royal is not from royal bloodline. It's not that exceptional in the end of the day, you know. But then they want to be exceptional and God. It's like you king, you queen, you prince, you princess. Then you have people like me above and being pure royalty, 100%. Right? I'm not a bastard. I am pure royalty from pure, powerful bloodlines. You cannot mix with that. Like it's the one drop rule. If you have like a drop of royalty, you are from the bloodlines, and that has been used as a way to kill more niggas. Because if you have like a bit of a drop of nigga in you, then you need to be expelled from anything that you're doing right now because I am angry and I need to kill you. So serial killing, second part, another part. So I have been covering the hedonistic power moves, the power moves, killing moves, the visionary ones, the mission-oriented ones. So a little of a recap: the hedonistic is that they do it for pleasure, thrill, and or personal gain, like comfort, for instance. The visionary one is the believers basically believing that Satan is going to come back to Earth, for instance. And then there is the mission oriented one. This would be, for instance, the organized type. This would be, for instance, they would target a type of a certain group, and they would want to eliminate that group so that um, they could achieve their mission, which is what could be me. But the thing is that I have not discovered that a group that did nothing to me were on my way. You know, it's like it's much more that I have discovered that no matter what I do, a group is trying to torture me, pain me, or kill me, and they've been even stealing all my money, so blocking all my money. They try to steal it, but it's gonna come back anyway from to me. Um, so that they'd be able to kill me, and so that doesn't forcibly make of me a serial killer. Um, it's like it's legitimate defense. like the poisonous thinker. Some people could say that it's a lie. Some people could say that it's the truth. I'm not in your head to decide for you what you have to believe or not, what you need to believe or not. I'm just saying that I disidentify with this type of people targeting, for instance, blonde girls, just because they love it, just because they have a mission of whatever. So those people are not supposed to be psychotic, and they see themselves as crusaders. Crusade. Shit. So then it's like vision. It's linked to the visionary. They're not psychotic, but for them it's a conquest of the world in the name of but they're not psychotic. So mission oriented, then so the people in yachts and so on, they are dedicated to bringing back Satan, for instance, or so they say. So they might be lying, which means in the end of the day that they are saying that they are mission oriented while they are still focused solely on the killing, right? And then I guess that all the serial killers that are power or control oriented are now being swayed by me, and it's because I'm telling them, like, if they are ready to stop everything, like, I know that some people, they are in it for the power, they are in it for accessing a certain statue. They are in it for the trade-off. Somehow they are not in it for the killing, they are in it for what's beside the killing. I know that. I'm not stupid. It's like it's all forcing, the system is entirely forcing everyone to be going about the killing, including me right now. It's like it's an indirect manner of doing it, yet it's still forcing me to go there, to lash out, and to create text that manipulates them. So this is forcing everyone to be killers. But the thing is that some of them are real serial killers. Some are people that have been victims of the system, 100%, that want to get out of the system, that have been wanted to get out of the system for as long as they can remember, but they don't really allow themselves to go there for a security measure, or they know they want, like they said to themselves that they wanted to stop, and so they have like a strong conviction that they strong desire to make it all stop. And amongst those people, because they know they know that it's not sustainable, they don't know if they're gonna make it until the end and so on, like this type of thinking, these people right now are which aren't 100% stupid, right? Those people are coming in my direction. Like all the most talented people, they are already with me, because talent is something that has not been that is a threat to the power in place. So all the talents are, and most gifted people are a crowd, a type of tribe, a tribe and crowd that is most likely attracted by what I have to offer, and that want to dedicate themselves to what I have to offer. 100%. And they have been plotting for that as well, because they know that they cannot fully express themselves in the world as it is, and they need to fully express themselves. They have the desire to fully embrace themselves. So this world has as well become and system has as well become a threat to their to them being able to just live, because when you have this type of desire and not enough talent, you have to do anything that's possible to be able to free up the space so that you could fully just be yourself, not in a harmful manner, but just be yourself, like just be able to explore more of what you are. So not going about the pain, the killing, the blah. You see perfectly that it's like dragging you down, and that it's like much more of an anchor than anything else. You figured that out a long time ago. You just understood that the system was in such a way, and that you had go through these type of things to just free up some space for you, give yourself some means to be able to whatever. And in that motion, then you've seen more, and your conviction has been growing in the fact that this world is going to be doomed with the power in place, for instance, and you have therefore been nurturing some ambitions, or been nurturing some motivations, desires, or actively been plotting so that this would totally end. And so those people aren't really serial killers. Those people are people able to go further, to nurture their ambition, to achieve what they have to achieve than others. It's not forcibly that you are a killer. It's just that the only option to nurture your desire, to the only option to get what you need has been presented as you have to do this, you have to kill, you have to inflict pain, you have to go through this. This is what's going on. And I'm not blind to this. I understand it. I just don't want to thank for it, because you have to put a limit at some point, and you have not to cross this limit. And so it's easier as well to make some decisions, clear decisions that are bringing back everything in the right direction. So I should be. Oh, actually, the other day it was like, wait a minute. Is it gonna seem like this is yeah? No, because I'm thinking about NLP all of a sudden, and I was putting like here a referential of bad, good, bad, good. And so if I'm saying like we are need to go in this direction, it means subconsciously that I have put like a cue of bad, the worst. And so I'm saying like we need to go to the worst direction. And so it's confusing in the subconscious. And shit. I just meant that this is like, I don't know. It's like here there is the computer, and so it's more obstructed. And so here there is more space for me to express. And so I was talking about space, and so I was like, space here, blah. This is what's going on here in this context. So, and at the same time, here I have a wall of good stuff. I will need to take care of this in my communication. This is neuro-linguistic programming. I will need to take care of this in my communication so that you wouldn't be confused too much. But at the same time, it can be seen at this in this way, like it could be considered that I am deviously manipulating you into wanting the worst, which is not to be killing, because I'm talking about not killing anymore. I'm talking about killing only as a way to get what you want, and not as the mean to get what you want, not as the end, which is what serial killers are about. They are using like the end game, the end thing is the killing, and then all that's around, it's a mean to an end, it's a mean to for the killing. And I'm saying that there is perhaps like 90% of the people going about the killing regularly that are not into the killing, but that are using the killing as a mean to an end. And the end is what they desire, what they want, the initial objectives that they had in their life. And perhaps they've been losing themselves in the killing, but now I invite them to remind themselves of why they've been going about it, why they were doing it for in the first place, and to see where they are at right now, and to see if it still aligns with what they initially wanted, or to see if their initial plan has been successfully completed. And so therefore trying to see if the killing makes sense right now, how it makes sense for them, and see if it is still a mean to an end or an end, which is, are you a serial killer? So I know that some people are motivated by something else than the killing, and that they aren't the equivalent of a direct equivalent of what is a serial killer like me. Perhaps they surely have done worse, but you know, you have to sort it out for yourself. So then here there is a type of serial killers which are organized, and those killers are going in this for power. So you have, like it said here, the primary motivation is the gratification from exercising absolute dominance over the victims. Oh shit! Actually, this is a bit more twisted. The entire crime is a ritual of subjugation. Okay, so a lot of the Illuminati wants me to subjugate to their own power, and I guess that amongst those people going more in that trend of humiliation, domination, and so on, I guess that some of them they are in it to gain more power because they want to do something else instead than the killing. And so it's just a mean to an end. But then they might have been manipulated into assimilating the killing into in as being the way that they would achieve power, that they would get power. And so then they've been perhaps like gravitating around the killing being the sole source of this felt, seen, experience power, while they can experience power in other ways. So it's being manipulated doesn't mean that you're forcibly weak. I have been manipulated. It's only that if you're like, lots of means are being put into motion so that you would be manipulated. So just learn from it and get out of there and find a way to give back and stop the killing, definitely. Or use that killing motion to kill the one responsible, okay? The one blocking the entire thing. This is what you need to do. because then you're going to gain more power by having freeing the system, by having freed the system from the person blocking some source of power, like my source of power, so that I would be able to provide you with more power by being liberated from those blocks. This is one thing that I have been saying as well. I have been like articulating quite a bit, that I am not one that doesn't want people to have power. I am empowering people. I do my best to empower people. And by such, I give them more control. If I give them more knowledge, I give them more control. And then if it's your thing, the killing is not right there with my work. You can see directly 101 that the killing is not what's giving you the power. The killing is not giving you power there. The knowledge that I'm providing while I am being liberated from all this violence is what's giving you power, the knowledge that I'm providing to you, and not the killing and the pain that is inflicted to me. So it's just a part of the ecosystem, of the current ecosystem, from which I am driving out power by understanding more and sharing more knowledge. But you put me in another environment, one that's more propice to give back, to extract more knowledge, and then you will see that I have the ability to provide with more insight and knowledge and potent power, potent knowledge, which gives you more power and more control over your reality and yourself. So if you're really like into the killing, then it means that if for you it's just bullshit, and you know that the killing is the way, then you're most probably a serial killer. So this is it. Because I said that because there is Eric Schmidt, an ex-CEO of Google, who sent some drones to Ukraine to protect Ukraine from Russian airstrikes. But the thing that I see through this, that the person wants to reinforce the bloodline, so power, and they are ready to do anything so that they gain more power, right? For me, Satanism anthropologically and all this terror system is the tool that it's something that is initially put in place to manipulate people into becoming violent, not for the violence in itself, but to keep the power in place, right? Because like there is the bigger danger there, so you have yourself to become more dangerous. For instance, cannibalism. If you consider that your enemy is your food, then like psychologically you aren't afraid of your food, right? You're not like, it's like you're eating the thing. It's like it's empowering you. Okay, like it gives you nutrients and so on, so that you can like be sharp and on point, right? So if you consider that the person in front of you with the sword is actually your steak, it's like if you see a steak with a sword, you're less scared, right? So psychologically, it has a different impact than you being in front of like the sword and someone with skills, and who has probably trained their entire life with this freaking sword to cut your head to cut your neck like this. It's not the same than you seeing a steak. You're like, the steak, it doesn't do training, It's like, in the mind, it's like, nah. So then you're just like, instead of being paralyzed in fear, to be more paralyzed in fear because there is still the danger that represents the sword, you are more into being like, how do I slice my steak on the plate? It's like it's not the same type of context, right? And so in that motion, like I understand that it has been serving a purpose, a function, historically. mm, then I don't know about everything. I just know that like for instance Atlantid, I don't know where Atlantid is supposed to have been happening. The Atlantid dates. I don't know if that's a myth or a legend, or if it has, if it had really happened. Okay, so they say that Plato was the first to talk about it. Um, so it's linked to Poseidon, which has a trident of three. So someone, a realm that was so Zeus, Clito. So it might. Shit, wait. Okay, so Atlantid might have been a realm of extreme power and oriented um, toward mysticism a lot, where okay, whatever. So it was like Merovingian, apparently, because Poseidon, a god of the sea, so perhaps a rebel, because Ulysses was navigating, like on the sea. Uh, this is a conjecture. I have no clue. I just know that Poseidon is three, a trident, and that this king was having something with a mortal um, of the name of Clitos, and woman, and they got a son called Atlas, and he became the king of Atlantid. Um, okay, I don't know. So I am taking this as a valid hypothesis of like a strand of research because where there is information and perhaps clues to what could have gone wrong with humanity already, because like something happened and the civilization just collapsed. And like some tales are saying that the technology that happened that was there was uh, perhaps more advanced than ours. Uh, I don't know, like the way it was talked about when I've seen the what was said was that it was like very advanced, and that they still collapsed because of a problem in leadership. Um, and so I assumed that it was something linked to Satanism, and that or this type of sacrificial magic, and that therefore the civilization collapsed. Then I know that the apocalypse and shit like this are as well manufactured apocalyptic times to 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 bring forward a new type of civilization or organization, and that it already happened um, in the past. This is a time of renewal, like the revolutions, and here, like right now, we have like several things that are culminating in the same direction. We have several types. We have several types of revolutions: technologic, human, like psychologically, for instance, like human, like existentialist, which bring as well like some type of economic revolutions or societal, economic, as well as spiritual. We are like advancing as well in a metaphysical aspect. We are approaching, which is in its link to existentialist um, revolution, and uh, I'm losing myself a little in my thoughts right now. But and then beside that, you see that it's going like totally bananas everywhere in the world. It doesn't make sense um, anymore. Nothing makes sense. It's catastrophic to so many in so many ways, and so it calls upon like some more stability. Like it's a huge crisis that we are knowing right now, and so then it calls upon like it's a moment that's propitious to organize like a massive switch, and so to give birth to a massive switch, and in such transfer of power, like it's a perfect moment right now to ditch them and take advantage of the situation to change the motion and go about another system. And so that would be like the new world agenda, you know um, but the thing is that the new world agenda was part I recognize that the US were called the New World, and it seems to be a territory that's like very satanic, like it's been like going like lots of shit in the US. And there has been lots of shit everywhere, but like it's more known than in the US. It's been like very intense. Um, mm, 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 mm. And so then I don't know why I was saying this, whatever. But with all that in mind, and as well with the fact that mass mind control, I had no idea that it was going on. I'm like Atlantid, like this is like valid to explore such myth, right? And so this is why I'm looking it up right now, because I'm like I wanted to do this since quite some time, and I'm like Was it? Could I find? Can I find information? When was it? When would it have been existing? But I didn't find anything conclusive just yet. So the Atlanteid, because I was talking about apocalyptic time, and yeah, this is the apocalypse because they want to kill humanity or to kill as many people as possible while shielding themselves. But the thing is that they aren't shielding themselves. But perhaps they think that they are shielding. They will be shielded by the most devious being ever. So it's like 99% of chances to be killed. But hey, yeah, nice. Hell would be on Earth. Well done. Okay. This is where like, it doesn't make sense to some extent, and where you can see that it's most likely that they are into this for the killing rather than the proper reasoning of it. And so this is why when you have people more motivated by control and power, yeah, then you can be like, yo, this is the way to go, not to kill anymore, and to change the system and to reboot it to take advantage of the situation right now, to reboot it in a manner where the killing is not, and the sacrifices are not at the center of absolutely everything that's done, in the system, where the pain, where the abuse is just removed, because um, it's not working. And the same, like for the people into just controlling reality and other people and so on, like wanting to play the marionettist. It's not it's not conclusive. It's not conclusive. Like, the direction in which we go is not conclusive, because first and foremost, I would find it more interested to be able to manipulate beings that are well equipped, that aren't slammed down by the system which I control as well. I would find it more interesting to be able to manipulate people that can do backflips in the middle of the street, rather than manipulating someone that is just crawling on the floor all the time. And so right now, humanity is just put down so that everybody is crawling on the floor, basically, all the time. Instead of having people, a bench of a mass of individuals all able to do backflips in the middle of the street. So, in my thinking, I would find it more interesting to go in another direction. Like if I were killing to gain more control, right? So while wanting to be a marionettist with the technology, I would find it like more um, interesting, with more substance, potentiality. It'd be more interesting, right? Because yeah, it's like richer. So, but then you have some killers, like they're really in it because they find it as being the utmost experience of what it means to have dominance over something, to remove the life of one thing. This is the utmost thing. It's like it's a bit like a god complex to some extent. Or it's like, I want to create you and to kill you as well, you know? Which is a bit what has been happening to some extent with me, like for a part. It's like all this game playing mental play with the with my mom, like with me being created at that time, at that point in time, and then to birth, to have to come to term in a full moon, but no, 3 weeks before being coming to life in a new moon period, which would give certain type of numbers, and then this beautiful thing of creation that we control so much reality to bring this to life. Then we would sacrifice it, because then this would be the utmost experience of what power is, of control is, or what control is. I bring magnificence to life to destroy it as being the utmost experience of life. So then, of control. So then, why don't you burn your magnificent house, right? Why don't you destroy your own company that you built for so many years, right? Why don't you burn that that thing that reminds you of Satan so much, right? It proves control and dominance over your environment, right? Yeah, that's a sacrifice too. Why don't you burn again Notre Dame de Paris? So much effort to bring this magnificent piece to life. Why not sacrifice it and never go back there? I'm just saying, don't say that I'm not that I'm tempting you uh, into doing shit. So, the article is about the predator psyche, a global criminological and psychological analysis of serial homicides. So that was only a preliminary talk. What I said, it's like it's about 2 hours. It's like it's like I'm becoming a professor, a teacher, and teachers are paid. So, executive summary. Let's go about it. This report provides a comprehensive criminological and psychological analysis of the phenomenon of serial homicides. It synthesizes foundational theories of development, psychological frameworks, and behavioral typologies with an extensive review of international case files, including publicly available records from law enforcement and intelligence agencies. The analysis reveals that serial homicides is not a monolithic event, but rather the culmination of a developmental process, typically originating in significant childhood trauma and environmental dysfunction. This process fosters a reliance on violent fantasy as a primary coping mechanism, which, when combined with an underlying psychopathic personality structure, creates an individual capable of committing multiple murders over time. So this is what I have been saying. And then like you have still the doubt of like, serial killer. Oh no, no, mm, no, why? Ugh. They want to destroy a bit a part of my aura, which is being like the fully benevolent character. It's like if you think about the yin yang, that would be me pushing them uh to kill themselves. That would be the little dot of dark in the white part. So yes, listen, I'm not perfect. Um, Kaka, put all that. I'm not perfect. I shit like everyone else. I can get angry sometimes. I can get frustrated sometimes. Uh, I laugh as well. I love sex too. I'm not perfect, but I cook well. I have plenty talents, and yes, it pisses me off that those people would be like putting so much effort in trying to enslave me, somehow. Why? Because they think that it has to go in a certain way. They are going about like some type of reasoning that are freaking flawed. So then this is why we are here right now, because I realized that, oh, it's not actually about the thinking, it's about they are serial killers. And so, yeah, then there is me being like, oh, I've had to push some of them to kill themselves. I have been aided for my defense. Um, but I didn't do anything to stop it either. Right? To stop them from killing themselves, to stop the serial killers from killing themselves. I didn't do anything. Right? I tried. See, no. You've seen some of them, um, which aren't really doing it for the killing. In the end of the day, I am like in the beginning of the video. You see, and I'm like diffusing a little and creating some pathways to make the motivation to make them realize where their motivation lies is, right? Because they've been manipulated in one way, but it's possible to manipulate people in another way as well, to open up the path of understandings that have been locked into one specific space, legitimating only the killing and not the getting away out of the killing, right? So here we are. The report deconstructs the critical distinction between antisocial personality disorder, ASPD, and the more profound personality construct of psychopathy, identifying the latter as the essential psychological operating system that enables the complex planning, manipulation, and compartmentalization required for organized serial killing. They are once again using some words that I've been saying. So, operating system, yeah. But that's good because it just empower my what the way I have been communicating. Like, so that for you is easier as well to comprehend what's going on. It just take the text as an extension of what I have been stating already. It's a continuation. And I felt at some point that I was like just on automatic saying what I was saying, right? So, through detailed case studies of offenders such as Theodore Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy, informed by Federal Bureau of Investigation FBI records, the report illustrates how these psychological traits manifest in specific methods of operation, modus operandi, and victim selection patterns. So, as said beforehand in the other video, the secret world is intelligence world is very good at profiling. They showed that to me several times with my likings of guys to have sex, not to kill, as an object of torture as well. Like, look, we know your taste, but you're not getting that. So, John Wayne. So Wayne was as well a registered, identified, publicly outed serial killer. So Batman being what is it? It's Batman and Lebro? No, like Alice Bailey. It's Batman. Batman, one of her initial last name. And here we have another serial killer, uh, called John Wayne Gacy. So Batman, Wayne. So you see that the more killing, the more referential. Like the more you are centered around lots of death, basically, the more you are cited in the culture, in everything, in the literature, in the movies, in the in the newspapers, in the theaters, in the everywhere. It's a death centered culture, abuse centered culture. So Bruce Wayne fighting the Joker. So the report, analysis of global cases from Andrei Chikatilo in the Soviet Union to Harold Shipman in the United Kingdom, and Gao Shengyong in China demonstrate how the political, social, and bureaucratic structures of a state can inadvertently create opportunities for offenders and hinder investigations. I wanted to add that I forgot. Yeah, in my case, you can have as well, like, if you aren't the killer being put in the literature, then the victim is, the target is of the killers, of the abuse. It's all about the abuse, right? It's like target of the abuse or the abuser does not matter. It's not supposed to matter. It's not supposed to matter. because you can be like sacrificing yourself to the abuse, or being the one sacrificing through or the one abusing to sacrifice. If it's around the sacrifice, normally you're supposed to be rising out of this. And system is broken because I have been sacrificing a lot, and yet where is my freaking money right now, right? Where is all my freaking luxury? I have been giving so much. So this report, this is why we are saying that this is not about the culture, that this is about serial killers that have been let loose at the top, and that we need to control and put back to their place. This is what I'm saying right now. I'm saying that the system is freaking broken, that we all want it to change, so let's change it. Let's not freaking let them have it anymore. This report introduces, like, and it's not happening, is they don't have it anymore. Just like there is some resistance from them, from the system in place somehow, and I'm putting everything back in place in the thinking. I'm putting everything back in place so that we would reach another stage of evolution, which is not, I'm sorry to upset you, it is not putting back Saturn in place. Nope. If any Saturn or Lucifer has to be here, it's only one that is accusing them of being fucking serial killers. Okay? This is all. So, they are back to hell. We bring them back to hell. And here is about something else. Fuck that shit. So this report introduces a multi-factor danger index to provide a more nuanced ranking of history's most dangerous serial killers, moving beyond simple victim counts to include metrics of brutality, evasiveness, and societal impact. So if you consider me a serial killer right now, I am the most dangerous one. By far. By far. Because it's not about the count. It's about societal impact. Brutality. I have been at the origin of so much brutality, right? And evasiveness. Evasiveness. I have been like so evasive. It's such a blur. You don't even know for real, right? So, finally, the report examines the dynamics of the killing cycle, including the psychologically necessary cooling off period and the rare instances of cessation. Yeah, this is what I have been like going through, like the cooling off. The cooling off of the mass serial killer movement is most of the time around the full moon. This is where they are cooling off, I have noticed. The new moon is the peak, like really going for it, and then there is a cooling off a little, like it's like the new moon is like less until the full moon less, and then like it accelerates again, and like bath we go into the new moon. Bah, yeah. This is a bit where like the above the below, but it's been like a bit like the of a constant to some extent serial killing, right? So it concludes that while the treatment of adult psychotic offenders remains a significant challenge with low success rates, the most viable path forward lies in prevention. So this is are psychologists satanist or not? Are they lying or not? So since when would you need to believe that you can't stop the killing at all? It's like I wasn't supposed to be able to heal my burnout, right? I still did it in the worst condition ever. Like I wasn't supposed to heal my burnout, uh, continuing to work every freaking day, like for hours and hours, like 100+ hours. I was not supposed to be able to do that because the burnout is symptomatic from an overload of stress and anxiety that is mostly generated by your work environment and your work place and your work, right? Because work is modeled to torture you. It's not something that is made to please you. This is what work means. This is why the Labor Day, the 1st of May, is as well one of Satanism. This is not made to be happy you work. This is made to feel bad. So I put myself in badness to still heal from it. So is it that I am a genius, a god, or is it that we've been lied to and that I still gone for what I thought was right, which was not the killing, because the killing is not right. This is, don't even try to go there. The killing is fucked. This is what it put you in the first place into looking at this video right now. Or looking through my eyes. It's because it's not right. And I'm not going to explain that one. I'm just going to leave it in the open. So finally, the report examines the dynamics of the killing cycle. The evidence strongly supports a strategic shift toward early identification and intervention for at-risk youth, exhibits key behavioral warning signs, addressing the root causes of trauma and conduct disorder before they solidify into an intractable pattern of violent offending. So yeah, basically, if your entire identity, personality, belief system is centered around the cycle of violence and centered around, as well as your habit and your worldview centered around the killing, and if it crystallized into being at the root of absolutely everything that you experience in life, then that's harder to. They said that it's impossible, but that's harder to get out of it. Impossible, maybe it's harder to get out of being a serial killer. And so they say that early identification is the key. While right now, early identification has been used to nurture your perversion for your entire life with the mind control and shit. This is what it has been used to. Like the polarity is centered around the negative aspects of the possibilities of the scope. And now we are moving that to another direction. So there it is. Okay, the criminological landscape of serial homicides, defining Okay, so one I think I'm gonna read the part one and stop there, and then I'm gonna perhaps do another video for the part two, or I'm gonna move to reading another article. So like I'm going like sporadically, um building like surface layer of understanding in a bit of a holistic manner, you know, so that the information would be able to settle a bit better in the mind of everyone, and as well it's built that way, so it's organized that way, so it's better for the assimilation of the knowledge, and in the content has been created in has been organized in a can be optimized that way. This is different, can be optimized that way. Okay, so the part one is divided in three subparts. So it's about the landscape of serial homicides, serial killing. So first, in the first part, we see the defining phenomenon, the differentiating serial Spree and mass murder. The Spree, urban Spree. Shit, that's something a space in Berlin that is called urban Spree. So the defining phenomenon, differentiating serial Spree and mass murder. Then two, foundational theories of development, from childhood trauma to homicidal fantasy. Then three, the McDonald triad and other early behavioral indicators. And that would be it. Then once we have done this, gone through this, that'd be already a good foundation to then for me be able to understand better what's going on. Yeah, childhood trauma is the classic one, right? Everything started in childhood, blah. And yeah, I've had like for quite some time some OCD thoughts, which were every time I had like a knife in my hand, I would have like the impulse, the memory, the imprint of stabbing someone. It was not like anything accurate, you know. It was just like the act of stabbing. And so for me, like, was linked to a fear. I was like, shit. At some point I was like, I don't want to lose control of myself and stab someone, you know. I was like, okay. And this is this is a now if you're gonna freak out, you're gonna be like, no, what the fuck. It wore off. It happened for a period, and then it wore off. It wore off. I remind you that I was in front of that I was surrounded by serial killers for a long time, and that I was provoked into even like being like punched and so on. I haven't stabbed anyone in this entire period of potential gestation for me to become a horrific dark individual. But don't push me, okay? I know how to take a knife and do this, okay? Remember that I'm a super soldier and that I do stuff sometimes with that. Like, and perhaps this is what I was trained for as well, you know? Be like, keep yourself in check. Perhaps that was a stage of learning. It's like you have a knife, be careful, because you could be going at war all of a sudden. So yeah, then some people would say that it's a case of possession when their body is taken over by the technology. I say that this is something. So, defining the phenomenon, part one, defining the phenomenon differentiating between serial, spree, and mass murder. To conduct a rigorous analysis of serial homicides, a precise operational definition is paramount. The term serial murder gained prominence in the 1980s when the FBI began to systematically differentiate between various forms of multiple murder. The consensus definition, though subject to some academic debate regarding the minimum number of victims, centers on the unlawful killing of two or more victims by the same offenders in separate events. The critical element that distinguishes serial murder from other forms of multiple homicides is the presence of a cooling off period between killings. This is a temporal separation during which the offender returns to their ostensibly normal life and routine. This period can last for days, weeks, months, or even years, and it is during this time that the killer's violent fantasy are often elaborated upon, fueling the compulsion for the next act. The definitional component sharply contrasts with mass murder. Some people now are gonna say they are delusional. They are a freaking delusional visionary serial killer. They say they aren't serial killer, but they're a freaking serial killer. Now they have established the fact that they had the impulse for killing people when they were younger, and that for years they had nothing, and now they are just killing thousands of people with their freaking words, freaking thoughts, and then they are saying they're not. Fucking liar! Don't listen to my thoughts. And then let's talk, perhaps. Let's talk. La 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 la. Okay, so this definitional component sharply contrasts with mass murder, the killing of multiple victims, typically 4 or more in a single event at one location. Oh my god. That's funny that they think that they use the word for, because this girl that they outed, they said that she was going for 4 kills in the night, that she planned for it like this. Oh, and she's doing like her opera, which is what is it in Barcelona? That's Broadway. What is it? Broadway something? Well, they outed her or made a very strong correlation and links, showcase very strong correlation and links with an opera singer or a musical singer. that had planned in one night to kill 4 people. So then here it said that this is the threshold to consider someone as a mass murderer. So she'd be a serial mass murderer. But wait a minute. There is no serial here. They aren't defining serial. They aren't defining serial. Is it in the has it been lost? Because like they are saying that there are distinctions. It's introduced in the title that there is a differentiation between serial spray and mass murder, and then they introduce only two different types. They go about the mass and the spray murder. So the killing of the spray murder is the killing of multiple victims in separate events with no significant cooling off period between the murders. Spray means river. To double check for yourself. Spray. The killing of multiple victims in separate events with no significant cooling off period between the murders. So we can consider that that was actually that was a genocide, a mass. So that was like I witnessed indirectly an incredible amount of violence that has been orchestrated in for the entire period where I was in Barcelona. That was at night, because they put a circuit that was going close to me, and like they put me in some places as well where where hundreds and vehicles, like 50 vehicles the minute approximately, could circulate around me. Hundreds could circulate around me to be close to my energy, which was one step in the ritual. To be close to my energy, that was like a milestone, like a highlight, so that they would be able to then go about their murder with a higher form of energy and to be like, like blessed by whatever. So while the FBI's definition is the standard for law enforcement, some academics like Holmes have previously suggested a more rigid time frame, such as the killing of 3 or more people over more than 30 days. However, the contemporary understanding prioritizes the psychological function of the cooling off period over a strict temporal metric, recognizing it as a key behavioral characteristic that reflects the offender's psychological needs and motivation. So, interesting. So the time frame is different to qualify in the academic, in the research, in the people putting words on how to define mass murder, spray murder, serial killing, and so on. Those people putting words on it officially and regarded as authority to put words on it officially are fluctuating in their definitions of what is what, and they use as a parameter the time frame and the number of victims. So, and the time frame, and they take the time frame as a parameter to understand how many people have been killed during a certain time frame, and as well they use this time frame as a metric, as a parameter to a time frame of absence as a parameter to understand which type of serial killer the person is, and they call it as the offender, someone who is offending. It's true that I am freaking, they've been really offended by what I've been saying. It's troubling, isn't it? If I wouldn't, can I do something else? Well, pushing them to the edge psychologically got me out of there, so take it as you wish. Part 2, foundational theories of development from childhood to homicidal fantasy. Yeah, I take it personal. I take it personal. Like, I take it, it's like, don't take it personal, they say in the four agreements. But I still reflect. I still stalk myself. So I'm still like considering, like, in the given framework, how it could apply to me or not. You know, just like some type of back and forth, a discussion, and ongoing discussion that's going on, a dialectic. They said that it's a Hegelian dialectic, the philosopher Hegel. Thesis, antithesis, and from the opposition of both, you get a synthesis. So then, foundational theories of development from childhood to trauma to homicidal fantasy. The etiology, I don't know what that means, of serial murder is a complex interplay of psychological, biological, and sociological factors, with no single theory providing a complete explanation. However, a significant body of research points to early life experiences as a critical crucible in the formation of a serial killer. The family unit, identified by sociologists as the major arena for socialization, is often the primary source of the dysfunction that initiates a deviant developmental trajectory. So that makes sense, right? It's like your family says it's okay to kill, go kill, and then you kill, right? Illuminati, cultural, right? And culture can be changed. So it's a living entity. It's like a language, a living language changes, right, over time. So it's the same. The culture changes, right, with the person, the main actress of this cultural landscape. And art is part of it. Just so that some people have an additional kick about it. That kick. Insight. Ring a bell. Ding. So yeah. Socialization, it's the way you interact with the world. Your family guides you, give you a framework in your ways to interact with the world, and then you just continue to duplicate those patterns infinitely until you die. If you do not learn to do better, to do otherwise. So then they say that there are some psychological factors as well and biological ones. It's not only about the way you've been showed uh, how to on how to. It's not about the way you've been showed to socialize, to interact with the world. It's also about psychology and biological aspects. It's like the biology and the psychology. They can both be modified by the mind control thing. So I'm like, then I wouldn't say that some of them they aren't 100% responsible for it, because I have been socialized as a male man, yet I identify as more as a queer, uh, initially as an agender individual without gender. It's like female, male. I was thinking about myself and I was like, I am a being. I'm not male or female. I'm just without gender. It's like I see myself as just being. I have a penis, but then my gender is like I don't feel like I don't feel that I'm fitting in the role model that the society is saying about what being male is. I don't see myself as being female as well, even though I see myself more in the role model of what society see that what female is, uh, being a female is. But yet I'm like, I was like, I don't know. And now I'm like, I'm queer. Like it changed. And I'm like, I'm queer. I'm like, everything. I am a deviant in the world of gender identity. I am not stuck into what gender identity, a straightforward and clear one. I am not male. I am not female. What the fuck? I am queer in every ways. Up, deviant. Fuck you. A central framework for understanding this process is Hickey's trauma control. This model posits that early childhood trauma, be it physical, sexual, or emotional abuse and neglect, is a key precursor to the development of violent deviance in a- a- adulthood, adulthood, adult, adult, adulthood, adulthood. I said it. In a study of incarcerating serial killers conducted by Wilson and Seaman in 1990, nearly all subjects had experienced significant environmental problems in their youth, such as broken homes, and nearly half had suffered direct physical or sexual abuse. Broken homes, dysfunctional families, satanism. So, it's like if you interact in a dysfunctional family and the world, then you tend to reproduce the thing. We already said it. So this trauma disrupts the child's ability to form healthy attachments and fosters a sense of powerlessness. To cope, the child retreats into a rich fantasy world where they are in control. This fantasy life, initially a defense mechanism, becomes the blueprint for future homicidal acts. Homicidal acts, which are often meticulous enactments of these long-held violent scripts. And then for me, it's like, if I suicide, at least they will know my value, and that would be like twitched into, okay, I admit it, I'm a serial killer. I need to stop. Can we stop? I'll be like, if I kill myself, at least they will see my value. So I want to empower people. I want them to show me their true value. So perhaps this is why I want them to suicide themselves. Or why am I doing this? It's like I am shooting myself in the foot right now. This is completely suicidal. Or is it proving a point? Look, I am a serial killer. You can admit it too. Or perhaps I'm showing you how that goes, how you go about it, right? So, I didn't have any fantasy about being in control. I was like, oh, this is more like how it is. My fantasy was, oh, I wanted to levitate once, eating some yogurt, because in the advertisements they were eating the yogurt and it was so light that it made them levitate on the couch. So I wanted to levitate as well, so I asked my mom to buy it. She bought it. I that was my thing. I was like, that was my project. And so I was on the couch alone, and I ate them all, and I was like, because they were levitating like this. They were putting like themselves in a meditation position, then they were like levitating. And so I wanted to do the same. And so I was like, okay. And then I was like, shit, it doesn't work. I was a bit upset. I was like, oh, I wanted to levitate. Oh, no. I didn't levitate. Shit yogurt. I should have sued them. You provoked emotional distress because I couldn't levitate while after buying your yogurt. You promised me that was possible. This is why I'm a serial killer right now. They provoked emotional distress at that key point in my existence, in my childhood, because the house was neglected me in emotionally. I was alone in my fantasy, and so I could never get conciled this betrayal that the TV marketing was was promising me. I thought that the truth was told by the TV. And since then, I wanted to become a marketer myself, to say the truth to the people, and to push people to betray themselves as they've been lying to me, and to think and to therefore suicide. And this is why I think that I became at that point in time to become a serial killer. A serial killer. Shit. I shouldn't joke so much about it. Oof. But it's just, yeah, the stories we can tell ourselves, right? So the model suggests a progression. Suggests a progression. Trauma leads to a disposition or an inability to attach, which, without positive social intervention, can escalate into homicidal behavior. The model suggests that a progression trauma leads to a disposition or an inability to attach, which, without a positive social intervention, can escalate into homicidal behavior. Okay. So you have a trauma. Which create a type of bridge for you to become a serial killer. And then you can abound to anyone to catch you up in the fall. And so the more rejection you basically, social inabilities you experience, the more it tends to crystallize into homicidal behaviors. So the killing. I was talking more and more to people in Vienna, like having small talks with other officers. And here I am alone, but I was introduced back to the house not as being not being my house anymore, as they said to me, my family. I have been like surrounded by. I've had some calls, positive social interaction with some long lost friends, Daphne Chauvel and Sarah Lequien. So in my social environment, everything is going better, and this is why I'm doing it for, basically, so that everything goes better for absolutely everyone in this planet. And I don't want to kill everyone on this planet, just so that you know. I have a different plan, a different approach. Okay? So, this is complemented by Gottfredson and he or she self-control theory, which argues that crime is a result of low self-control stemming from ineffective or poor parenting. That's quite. You don't have self-control because your parenting was bad, was satanic. So you cannot control yourself. That's pretty straightforward. The theory suggests that self-control is largely established by the fifth grade. Fifth grade. Fifth grade. Fifth grade age. It's like, why do you say fifth grade? Can't you just say the age? So by 10 years old, 3 to 6, preschool, pre-kinder, kindergarten. Interesting. I will keep that one. I have a table here. I'm gonna keep it alive. I'm gonna keep it aside and try to put it in the description. Sometimes they pressure my bladder so that I want to pee. They managed to make me pee more or less myself several times. This is why I call them the poop trash order, because like the earth is it's a canal, right? So then pressuring the bladder and opening a little, and it's like they try to do this several times unsuccessfully, and at times more or less successfully. So the theory suggests that self-control is largely established by 10 years old. I was extremely calm when I was young, super patient and so calm, super in control, super laid back, in control, observant. Individuals who fail to develop it are characterized by impulsivity, insensitivity, risk-taking, and short-sightedness. All traits frequently observed in violent offenders. The parental neglect and abuse described in the trauma control model are precisely the conditions that prevent the development of self-control, creating an individual who is both psychologically damaged and behaviorally inhibited. I'm going to read that again. The parental neglect and abuse described in the trauma control model are precisely the conditions that prevent the development of self-control, creating an individual who is both psychologically damaged and behaviorally uninhibited. So don't traumatize your children before 10. That's what it said. Otherwise, low self-control and serial killer. The developmental pathway is not a deterministic one, but rather a cascade of increasing risk. The process begins with a dysfunctional family environment which fails to instill the psychological capacity for self-regulation. This lack of self-control then manifests externally through observable problematic behaviors. So they cannot self-regulate. Like, I have been exposing this for quite some time. I was saying, and I wrote it several times, that their coping mechanism, um, the coping mechanism strategies, self-regulating strategies that they fall back into are dysfunctional, that they need to be changed. And because they don't want to do it, or because they don't do it, then they keep the dysfunctional self-regulation strategies, which are in fact creating imbalances, and therefore those are ineffective self-regulating strategies, coping strategies. Indeed, I have presented it in one of the carnet, in one of the books, the journals that I wrote. And there is the same is said. Actually, it's only saying that it comes from the childhood. From the childhood, they developed, they didn't learn to self-regulate their emotions, and because they don't know how to self-regulate the emotion, then they lash out, basically, on their external environment. These behaviors are not merely symptoms of an underlying issue. They become a fact. They become a form of practice and self-reinforcement, further entrenching for individuals' reliance on aggression and fantasy as primary coping strategies and solidifying a trajectory toward extreme violence. So yeah, then there they have a different approach. I am saying that what they are seeking is I'm saying that they are harboring dysfunctional strategies, that they are going about dysfunctional strategies which are nurturing their inclination towards violence. So I'm saying basically that it's self-reinforcing the loop of violence, of the escalation of violence. But then here they are saying it like in a kind of different manner. They are saying that the aggression itself and fantasy are the primary strategies, means, coping strategies that they are going for, and that the more they use it, the more it's their default mode of operating, the more it's the more they rely on the violence. They say that the more they use it, the more it solidifies, the less flexible they are to find a solution to their emotional issues. So there is a bit of a nuance. It's like it's the same is said differently, but here there is a different nuance. It's like it solidifies. It means that solidifies. Yeah, it gets rigid. Let me check something real quick. I just want to see how many. 23. Okay. Person battery. uh, yeah, they say that the more they use violence to cope, the more they are like going down a path where they would whatever going down a path where they would escalate the violence. Because it's like they use this amount of violence to cope with the hurt of this amount of violence. Maybe from their external environment, coming from the external environment, or maybe coming from their direct environment, themselves, internal environment. So because this is happening, then they go for this amount of violence. So then, because it's here, they have to, then they want to cope for more violence. So then it's like here, they want to cope, to self-regulate, because it's painful, like violence, it affects you. And so then they go for more. But then the where they are at, like the environment is like it's becoming more and more violent, like the more they escalate. And sometimes, like if they cool off a bit the violence, then the here it's like it's cooling off a bit. But the thing is that because it's still lots of violence, then they still have, like, there's still something that is like making them perceive that the violence is happened, so they have to self-regulate even more. And sometimes, like, it's not, they're not like going like a little, they're like just going a lot, and then like a lot, and then it's like extreme violence everywhere all the time, and you have no way out, right? Down to creating some mass control shit conspiracies because you're fucking paranoid about people wanting to be out for you, to kill you because you've killed too many people. It's like, yes. So progressively they are led to this part. So the McDonald triad and other early behavioral indicators. So as the internal turmoil of developing offender grow, so as the internal turmoil, so the instability internally of a developing offender, of someone becoming an offender, grows, it often manifests in a set of behavioral red flags. So, okay, that's a red flag. There is turmoil inside, they're reacting that way. Red flag. The most well-known of these red flags is the McDonald triad, a set of 3 characteristics observed with disproportionate frequency in the childhoods of violent offenders. So there is, for instance, fire setting, pyromania, prolonged bedwetting. Prolonged bedwetting, enuresis past the age of 12, and cruelty to animals. Interesting. While the triad is not a definitive predictor, not all children exhibiting these behaviors become serial killers. Its components are recognized as indicators of deep-seated psychological distress. So, okay, it might be that it is some signs, but then it's not supposed to perhaps be the signs, all the signs. Okay, I guess that the McDonald wanted to be cited there. They want to be prominent. They are a secondary bloodline and they will remain there. So they want their name to be heard a little too much. And they want it to be way too close to me. So enuresis is theorized to stem from psychological problems related to damaging parenting strategies or conflicts within the home. The same factors that contribute to low self-esteem and a lack of self-control. So they wet the bed past the age of 12 because of psychological problems, mind problems related to damaging parenting strategies. So the parents inflicting pain to their children, damaging them, or conflict within the home. So problem like a dysfunctional communicational patterns creating stress within the home. So fighting all the time over shit, arguing all the time over shit. The same factors that contribute to low self-esteem and a lack of self-control. Because when you're a child, they say that you assimilate the discord that's around you as you being the issue of it. You're super self-centered. And so it stresses you out. You're like, why do I do what did I do wrong? Why did I do wrong? Why did I do wrong? And then you're like, oh, I'm dysfunctional, I'm a problem, stress. And then you're angry at yourself, for instance. And from there, because you're angry at yourself, then you need to, whenever there is someone like triggering you into that anger, for instance, being a bit critical about you, you snap at them because internally you're already nurturing like some self-hate. And when they are like being like a bit like pointing the finger at you, or perhaps not even at you where you're here, but at something else that you might have done, you assimilate it as being as targeting you, and therefore then it triggers you into being angry, like a bit more angry, and so you snap. And with time, the more you snap, perhaps at the beginning when you snap, you see that your environment is getting calmer. You're getting angry, and so the environment is getting calmer. And so you think that this is what is calming you inside, because the external threat is pushed away, but inside you still like, you can have questions like, why am I still that angry while everything is calm? I have a problem. Why am I a problem? And so you're still angry at yourself, like you've been shouting at your external environment, showed you that you can have control on the external trigger. And because you think that you can have control on the external trigger through violence and angriness, then you think that it's taming your own anger, your internal anger, because the little of the outside has been taming, reducing how you felt. Whereas you feel like this with the inside, but this in the outside is unbearable, because the inside you have that much. And so because you can tolerate only that much what's inside, then what's outside is unbearable. And so when you shout at others, you think that anger is the way to then reduce the entirety of the anger that you feel. And it turns in turn you start again going through anger, violence, to reduce that overflow that's coming from the outside, and becoming unbearable, creating unbearable hurt inside. And the more it goes, the more when you live in families that are all the time overly criticizing you because Satan, or fucking you up because Satan, then you have very little space to heal and see what's up, because you're submerged by external violence all the time, and you see that violence is push them back, and it's like perhaps as well an effective solution to make them back off, like. It's like it's war. When it's war at home, then your entire life is war. So, and not everybody is raised in such homes. But then you go about the killing, and then the killing is assimilating as being the way you can relax. So that's it. Please be careful. So fire setting represents a fascination with destruction and a powerful, albeit deviant, way of a powerless child to exert control over the environment. That's why we have so many wildfire, because some people have difficulties to, they feel powerless, they feel internally powerless to assert control. Animal torture is perhaps the most ominous component. It serves as a direct rehearsal for future violence against humans, allowing the individual to act out sadistic fantasies and displays anger without immediate social consequence. It demonstrates a profound lack of empathy and is a clear step in the process of desensitization to the suffering of others. It demonstrates a profound lack of empathy and is a clear step in the process of desensitization to the suffering of others. So the more you hurt animals, so torture, blood sacrifices with animals, for instance, the more you turn off the empathy. So perhaps at first you do this with insects, this practice of cutting the wings of flies and shit like that. And then you escalate to human. Whereas for me, it's like I still respect insects. And in dreams, I was like angry at some people torturing insects, ants. I didn't agree. They put them on a spike, which was a baton, a satanic thing, and I didn't like that. I was like, how can you do that? I was getting angry at them in a regenerative garden. And so then later in the dream, I was going to a McDonald's before going to a party. Like the McDonald's have something for me. Like they're really like, fuck, the too involved, way too involved. And then in the taxi going to the party, they told me, the taxi driver told me, you need to think again about your definition of vampirism. You need to redefine, search again what vampirism is, what vampires are. And here it is, parasites. Those people, they are the archetypes of vampires. This is it. Um, there are. I am being prompted with me redefining my measure of success, because like my impact is worldwide, you know. And so this is a measure of success. I'm freaking successful right now. If you look at it, I'm fucking successful. Like, if you want impact in your life, if it is like your measure of success, I am way off board. It's like I am way beyond anything that can be imagined. It's like absolutely all companies are going about my insights. It's insane. So I have a fucking impact. It's like I am already like I have already a legacy that's gonna be present for a couple of centuries already. It's like so many different type of, yeah, it's like it's been everywhere, everywhere, everything. This means that what's going on here is gonna last at least a couple of centuries, the impact of what's going on right now, since it's worldwide. And so it means that my impact is my legacy is already in place. So it means that I am successful. I'm fucking successful. And it might look like it's out of my control, but the thing is that my control is out of control. My success is out of control. That's interesting. My success is out of control. Ah! Vampirism. Yeah, this is what they try to do. They try to get everything out of me, all my energy out of me, all my work energy out of me, all my body of work out of me. But the thing that is, I'm not gonna go there anymore. There are serial killers, psychopaths. So yeah, from animals, as youngsters, they turn to killing humans. Like their empathy is shut off. It's like my empathy is as well shut off to some extent. Huh? I still don't want to slap snails that are put on my path. I don't want to kill them. If I can pay attention to ants, to not kill ants, sorry, I will do it. If I can spare of the lives of innocents, I will do it. It's like, why would I kill something that has done nothing to me? Why? I have no reason to do this. Absolutely no reason. So, and I don't care if there is some magic there. I prefer to develop my own magic, you know. I don't care if the religion is saying that this has been for like this for centuries, millions. I don't freaking care. Okay, so these behaviors should be understood as external symptoms of the internal damage described by the trauma control and self-control theories. They represent a critical stage in the developmental cascade where violent fantasy begins to cross over into real-world action, setting a dangerous precedent for the future. Yeah. I was fantasizing about protection of my family. If anything, I was building magic to protect my family. I was I was as well going about loophole in my witchcraft, in my warlock craft. I was like trying to edit myself up already to be sure to cover it all up. So it's because I was playing magic with some other Illuminatis children. I think it's Elisa Chami. Mehdi. C'est moi, Mehdi. Gili, gili, gili. Yeah. Um, so this is it. This was the part one. Um, take care of yourself. Don't be too damaging to yourself and others. Stop that shit. Be supportive of one another. And look, I have a beard.